to cover up my wife's betrayal. Things started to fall apart when my 15-year-old daughter, Shelley, got one of those DNA kits for Christmas. I don't even remember who gave it to her. She was very excited as she carefully filled out all the submission requirements and mailed it in. 6 weeks later, the results finally came in, and she was not happy. Donna and I were sitting quietly in the living room, reading when our daughter decided to voice her displeasure. We couldn't make out the words, but things were not going well. After about 15 minutes, she ran out of her room and announced that she was going to her friend's house. Donna reminded her to be home for dinner as she ran out the door. I sat back with a satisfied smile on my face and noticed that Donna seemed a little more concerned. We both just shrugged and continued reading. Donna and I were married 18 years ago, right after I finished my residency. 5 years later, I was considered the leading gallbladder surgeon in Tri-County. I had so much work I could handle and life was good. And then it all went to hell. We were at a social event sponsored by Donna's company, Gilbert Enterprises, when I had some sort of seizure that left me with Parkinson's-like neurological tics. It wasn't Parkinson's disease, but something similar. I had a constant tic in my right eye, and my right hand would occasionally twitch at inopportune moments. They never figured out exactly what it was, and for some reason I was so glad I was still functional that I didn't pursue it further. However, my days as a surgeon were over, so I found a new position as a radiologist. 9 months later, Shelley was born. Everything seemed to be going as well as could be expected. I was not happy with my new ailment, but was still fully functional in most areas. I was doing very well in my new medical position, and the pay was still quite adequate. My family life and sex life were unaffected, really. Donna seemed to be a little more cooperative. She had turned into a sort of Stepford wife. I figured she felt a little guilty because I had a seizure when we were at one of her company's events. In any case, I liked her extra attention, so I didn't complain. I really did love this woman. We lived like that for 15 years. Donna, any idea why Shelley was so upset about the ancestry story? I have no idea. I really think it's best if we just leave it at that. I'm sure she'll get over it in a few days, whatever it is. Something about the way she said it, I didn't like. I got the feeling that she was trying to distract me from it without seeming obvious. I just smiled and nodded my head. I read almost nothing for the rest of the evening, but I thought a hell of a lot. I tried to connect Shelley's attitude to anything else that might have been going on, but nothing came up. Barring the usual squabbles that all families have, we were in good shape. No money difficulties, no problems in the bedroom, and definitely nothing that could have anything to do with our daughter. I needed to look at the DNA report. Donna left for work, and Shelley went to school. I stayed home. I found what I was looking for in her desk drawer. Donna's family is mostly Irish, and mine is mostly Scottish, with a dash of German. Turns out Shelley was 48% Eastern European. I had to laugh a bit at the low quality of the report. Reading on, I noticed there was a list of close matches. Sure enough, Donna's name was at the top of the list, but my name was nowhere on the list. There were also several names of relatives on Donna's side, but none of mine. I assumed that the only people who would show up on the list were people who actually had their DNA documented. Donna, Shelley, and I had it done 5 years ago as part of an annual physical. Mine should have been there if Donna had it. I started to worry, and then I noticed a strange name at the top of the list. Teresa Haugen was a 46% match. Who the hell was Teresa Haugen? Dr. McCall, this is John Terrell. Yes, John. Good to hear from you. Everything all right? Yeah, no problems. I still have this damn twitch and an eye tic, but other than that, I'm fine. I do have a quick question, though. A few years ago, you took DNA samples from all of us for our medical records. Is there something you could run for me? What do you need? I'm trying to find out if there are any glitches in the DNA results between Shelley and me. Glitches? What do you mean? Glitches? Look, Doc, it's embarrassing, but I'm trying to find out if Shelley is my biological daughter or not. I don't want to cause any trouble, but I just need to know. Oh, shit. Pardon my French, John. You know you have access to all those files. You could have checked it yourself. I know, but I'd rather you did it. Let me go through the files and I'll call you back. Okay? Give me an hour. Thanks, Doc. I really appreciate it. I think Donna could tell I was concerned. Dr. McCall confirmed that I'm not Shelley's father. I didn't tell Donna. I've spent the last 3 days trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was surprisingly calm about the whole situation and was able to think it through without losing my temper. It took me a few days to find Teresa Haugen. For some reason, I assumed she must be about Shelley's age, and I felt like a stalking maniac. I finally found her on the internet pages of Malcolm Haugen's family. Malcolm was my age and lived in Westchester. I assumed she was his daughter. Malcolm agreed to meet me on Saturday morning at Dennis's in Exton. I'm not sure he knew who I was, but I caught some anxiety in his voice. He had come early. I was on time. We exchanged formalities. Malcolm, I don't remember meeting you before. Have you ever lived in Reading? That brought a slight grimace to his face. He fidgeted a little in his chair as if trying to get comfortable. I worked at Gilbert Enterprises about 15 years ago or so. I think we met at one of the company events back then. I left Reading right after that. He seemed relieved to say this, but still felt a little uncomfortable. I take it you knew my wife, Donna? It was a question phrased as a comment. He didn't answer. He just nodded. Do you know why I'm here? Not exactly, but I have an inkling. The few moments of silence were tense. Why did you remain silent for so long? I've only just found out. Silence again. He took a deep breath. I was young. I drank too much and was caught up in the moment. I know that's no excuse, and I know it was wrong. I think more than anything I succumbed to peer pressure. Donna, your wife, was one of the most fascinating women I have ever met. I knew she was married, but no one seemed to care at the time. Who else was there? He was still squirming a little. The three of us were from the engineering department. Freddie Springer, Clayton Mankey, and me. Donna was very friendly with all of us, and we had a great time. There were a lot of innuendos going around, and some of them were getting serious. Did anyone even think about me? Donna was constantly looking around to make sure you weren't around us. If I remember correctly, you were hanging out with some of the older guys talking golf. How did it all go off the rails? Freddie tried to talk Donna into taking some ecstasy. She kept saying no. He was pretty persistent. That's when it all went downhill. What does that mean? We were all drunk and horny, including Donna. Freddie asked her again, and she sighed and said, "Don't drug me, you idiots. Drug my husband." After another long pause, I looked at him. "Say it again," she said. "Don't drug me, you idiots. Drug my husband." That simple phrase had haunted me for the past 15 years. It was so cold and calculated, I couldn't believe it. What happened next? A few minutes later, Freddie brought you a drink. You fell asleep on one of the chaise lounges, and we all went upstairs. It was only an hour later that we found out what had happened to you. What do you mean? It seems you had a bad reaction to the medicine Freddie gave you, and they had to rush you to the hospital. Donna didn't even know about it until after you were gone. I didn't say anything. First thing Monday morning, I quit my job and came home to Westchester. I found a new job, got married, and now I have 3 kids. I never went back to Reading again. I never saw Donna again. I was always sorry for what happened, and I am truly saddened. I don't know what else I could say or do. I asked the waitress to bring us a full pot of coffee. Malcolm, have you ever taken one of those pedigree tests? No, but my daughter Teresa did a few years ago. Anyone else in the family? No, just her. She got it as a gift. Why do you ask? Your daughter Teresa and my daughter Shelley are half-sisters. I watched Malcolm sit motionless, not breathing. Finally, he blinked and took a deep breath. Shit. I watched him for a few moments until tears came to his eyes. His head shook slowly from side to side. Are you okay? No, I'm not. The worst night of my life just got worse. I can't believe this is happening. This is going to ruin me and my family. I've tried so hard to make sure nothing like this ever happens again, and then it comes back and bites me in the ass. How much worse could it get? We sat in silence for a few minutes. Malcolm, what happened to the other two guys? Freddie was killed in an accident on the Schuylkill Expressway. Clayton's an alcoholic and lives in the parish priest's house in Fishtown. I haven't seen him in years. Malcolm, I want to thank you for your time and your honesty. I am not looking for anything else, nor do I have the slightest desire for revenge or wish for retribution. You can relax. I won't stalk you or expose you. That's good to hear, but there's another problem. What about your daughter, or should I say my daughter? What if she figures it out and wants to contact me? What am I supposed to do? I don't want to offend or embarrass anyone. Any suggestions? I'll help you in any way I can. I won't initiate anything, but if it comes up, I'll be on your side no matter what happens. I'm not a vindictive man. I'm not happy about what happened, but I'm not going to ruin my life by dwelling on it. Just in case, you might want to prepare your wife so you won't be caught off guard. My daily life has become unbearable. Every time my hand twitched or my eye blinked, I was reminded of my wife's betrayal. Every time she was overly nice or accommodating, I cringed. Like Malcolm, she had carried the guilt for 15 years. For all those 15 years, I loved her because of what I perceived as her being a devoted wife. I know now that it was not devotion, but guilt. I felt I could forgive Malcolm, but not Donna. My love for my wife was fading, little by little, day by day. It was beginning to eat me up inside. I had to do something before it was too late. I did something. Hi, my name is Lena Durant. Welcome to Santa Marta Hospital. You must be John Terrell. I've been in Porto for a week, but this was my first visit to the hospital cafeteria. I made a clumsy attempt to stand up and extended my hand to greet my unexpected guest. This made her giggle a little. May I join you? I just nodded as she sat down. I wouldn't call her beautiful, but she was pretty damn attractive for a middle-aged woman. So, you're the new doctor? It's good to have you on the team. Are you settling in? She was obviously local, but she spoke perfect English, like most of the staff. Yes, it's going well. I've rented a furnished apartment within walking distance of the hospital. All I have to do now is find some good places to eat nearby. Oh, good. I can help you with that. I'm an expert at finding places to eat. She did a great job melting the ice. What department do you work in? I'm a neurosurgeon. I'm sure we'll be working together regularly. I realize you have a lot of experience. In almost every field. I will read all X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, mammograms, and ultrasounds, as well as the occasional tea leaf. This elicited a slight chuckle from me. Have you always done this? No. I'm sure you've noticed my eye tick and twitching right hand. Before my affliction, I had laparoscopic gallbladder surgery. Transitioning to radiology has allowed me to continue working. I feel I can still contribute. What exactly was the ailment? You know, I never really found out. There was a lot of discussion and speculation, but never anything definitive. I felt that everyone was evasive. I tried several times to fix it and got frustrated, so I just quit. Enough of the chatter. I need to get back to work. I finish at 6. Wow. I'll pick you up here, and we'll meet for your first dinner. You work around the clock, right? I smiled and nodded. Lena Durante was single. I didn't ask why and didn't delve into the subject. After a month, I felt comfortable enough with her to explain my marital status. The fact that I was still married didn't seem to bother her. 2 weeks later, she started staying overnight at my apartment. Life was good. I had no contact with my wife or daughter. My relationship with Donna grew colder and colder before I left, although she kept trying to keep it going. The problem was me. She tried to get me to explain what was wrong, but I never could. Shelley became completely withdrawn. I tried to keep the relationship going, but she ruined it. It got to the point where we barely spoke. She never explained what her dissatisfaction with me was. I didn't ask, but I think it was pretty obvious that it had to do with that damn DNA test. I didn't tell Donna I was leaving. I just left her with power of attorney to sell the house and took half of our savings. She had a good job and would have no problem supporting herself and Shelley. I'm sure she would have sold the house eventually. I also kept my wedding ring. Let her figure it out on her own. Donna never tried to find me or contact me. If she knew where I was not privy to it. John, I have set aside a time to meet with you on Friday at 9 a.m. at my clinic. It's a regular thing, so don't worry too much about it. Lena tried to sound casual. It doesn't make sense, and you know it. What's going on? It's the eye tick, John. I just want to check it out a little bit. Don't you think I should see an ophthalmologist? Dr. Perez will be there. He's the best we've got. We're not going to do anything. Just take a look around. Lena, I don't trust you. I know shit when I smell it. Just shut up, John. Be there at 9. Well, Dr. Perez wasn't there. The anesthesiologist was there, however, and before I knew it, I was sound asleep. Lena was sitting by my bedside when I came to. She was smiling at my obvious displeasure. Are you mad at me, John? I didn't really feel like talking, so I just mumbled to her. It didn't take me long to realize it. I no longer had the eye tick or the hand twitching. I raised my right hand and stared at it in amazement. It was as hard as a rock. My hand immediately went up to my head, and Lena started laughing as I tried to fumble for the bandages. There weren't any. It's a laparoscopy, John. You of all people should have realized that. I gave her an idiotic look as if asking her a question. Chin up, idiot, and she laughed again. Over the next few months, I worked in the surgical department to get recertified. I decided to stay in the radiology department and just fill in if any gallbladder surgeries were needed. Everyone was happy with the new arrangement. Lena and I went to live together and things went very well for the next 2 years. I think she would have liked to get married, but given the circumstances, she didn't want to push for it. It was a warm summer day, and I was sitting on the veranda with a bottle of Lancer's Rose. John, you have a guest. Lena was silent for a moment. I'm going down to the market for a while. She didn't wait for an answer. Hey, John, it's been a long time. It's been almost 4 years since I last saw my wife. She still looked good, but there were some tired circles around her eyes. Donna, you look good. Can I offer you something to drink? Wine would be lovely. She sat down while I took a glass. We were silent for a few moments. We chatted about the house, the weather, and her flight. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Donna, why are you here? What do you want? I just wanted to calm down a little. I want to take stock so we can move on. I need some answers to some questions, and I have a feeling you need them too. You've been reluctant to talk before. I think I understand why. I just need 30 minutes or so. You flew 15 hours to talk for 30 minutes? I'll have to do it in private. All right, keep going. After a year, I realized you weren't coming back. I sold the house and rented a little apartment for me and Shelley. This is a check for half the house. She put it on the table between us. I filed for divorce, waived the money. It took a year, but it's done, and it's clean. Now you're free to do as you please. She put a second document on the table. Shelley is engaged to be married in a couple months and asked me to give you this invitation. She was hoping you could give it to her. She will completely understand if you choose not to. She understands that her behavior has been inappropriate over the past few months and apologizes for that. The invitation has joined the other documents. I wanted to thank you for the checks you sent monthly to Shelley's college account. It really made a big difference. Under the circumstances, I didn't expect it. It took me by surprise. I never sent any checks. However, I had an idea where they came from. Of course, I was hoping to find out exactly why you left, but I understand if you refuse to tell me. If you do decide not to say anything, can I at least answer you some questions? She paused and took a sip of wine. I decided it was my turn to speak. Donna, I didn't want half the money for the house. but if it makes you feel better, I'll gladly accept it. I didn't bother filing for divorce because I had no intention of remarrying. However, things have changed now, so a divorce is welcome. I understand. She's very beautiful. I don't think it would be appropriate of me to marry Shelley at her wedding. I think the honor should go to her father. As I finished that sentence, Donna dropped her wine glass on the tiled patio floor. A sigh sounded as her mouth fell open. It took me a few moments to pick up the glass, and she picked herself up. She seemed to be having a hard time choosing her words. John, I don't want to be a sly fool or anything, and I'm also not trying to be evasive or defensive, but who do you suggest I contact? How about one of the 3 guys you made love to the night I had a seizure? Thankfully, this time she didn't have a glass in her hand. After about 30 seconds of incoherent mumbling mixed with sobs, she finally blurted out, I think I made a mistake coming here. I was hoping for closure, but not like this. I think I should leave. She started to get up, but I insisted on sitting her back down. No! You're not doing that. You opened that can of worms. Now finish what you started. You felt that by coming here with open arms, you were on the right path. It was done to make me feel like crap for leaving my wife and daughter. I'm sorry, but that dog doesn't hunt. Why don't you tell me all about it, including why you withheld the medical report? Just then, Lena came back and noticed what was going on. Oh, shit, John. What the hell did you do? I didn't do anything. We were just talking about old times, and she fell apart. Lena took Donna into the house and laid her down on the couch. She made a wet compress and gave her some pills. I stayed out of the way. I was the bad guy. How the hell had this happened? I went to the kitchen and got a super bock. The wine didn't ruin the flavor. John, why don't I talk to her? Maybe she won't be so upset. You must be pretty drunk. Is there anything specific you want me to ask her? Yes. A couple questions. Some of them I already know the answers to, but I'd like to see if she'll confirm them. The rest I just don't know. Ask her the names of the 3 guys she had an affair with that night. Did she see them again? See if you can find out if she had other guys and what other times. Just curious. Ask her why she withheld a medical report about my seizure. Ask her why we never had any more kids. Stop! That's too much information. It's a little overwhelming. I'll do what I can. Why don't you go out on the patio and relax? Grab a couple more beers. I fell asleep, and 2 hours later, Lena was shaking me to wake me up. I gave her a sedative. She would spend the rest of the night in the guest bedroom. Did anything productive come out of it? Once I got her started, I couldn't get her to stop talking. The only thing she remembers about the 3 guys is that one of them was named Freddie. He tried to get her to take some kind of drug, but she remembers that she kept refusing. She didn't admit to advising him to drug you. I don't think she'll ever admit it. So, how was the love affair? She didn't say, but from the way she described it, it must have been pretty good. It sounds like it was a one-time thing. I don't know why she did it. I couldn't get any hints of any other cheating. She never saw these guys again or heard anything about them. She suspected that one of them was Shelley's father, but never found out again. She freaked out when Shelley got a DNA test kit for Christmas, but didn't know how to handle it. She assumed you figured it out, and that's why you left. Wow, that's a good resume. That explains a lot. She also asked why you no longer have the eye tick or twitching. I explained to her that it was easy to fix and should have been done years ago, except that the diagnosis was hidden for some reason. This caused another bout of sobbing, so I just left her alone. She should sleep until morning. It's hard to believe, but I once loved this woman. I always thought this kind of love lives forever, but it's not true. I spent 15 years fighting for something I wasn't supposed to have. All the attention and love she shared with me over the years was just a way to cover up her betrayal. It wasn't love. John, you sound bitter. Lena, I have to go away for a few days. When Donna wakes up in the morning, can you make sure she gets to the airport? Tell her I'm not coming to Shelley's wedding. Also let her know that the checks she received were from Shelley's father, not me. Where are you going to go? She asked. I don't know. It's only for a week or so. You'll be here when I get back, right? Of course I will. Promise me you won't drink too much. Call me. That was the end of that part of my life. I never saw or heard from Donna or Shelley again. Lena and I didn't get married, but together we bought a nice little villa near Porto. I decided to take up oil painting after watching some Michael James Smith videos. I'm actually pretty good at it. The villa did have a nice little studio. Lena gave me a DNA testing kit for Christmas. It's not funny. The end!